Good afternoon, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for November 21, 2023. And in the news this afternoon, educators want issues with allowances and other matters settled swiftly. Jamaica Teachers Association President Leighton Johnson has said that educators in the public sector are running out of patience as they await a formal invitation from the government to discuss how their graduate and remote allowances are to be paid. In October, the Permanent Secretary in the Education Ministry, Dr. Kassan Troop, told the Parliament's Public Administration and Appropriations Committee that the ministry erred in not factoring the graduate allowance for some teachers under the compensation review. In terms of the remote allowance, the ministry also acknowledged that it made an error by paying the teachers at the old rate instead of the new figure agreed upon during the compensation review. At this point, we want a resolution to this. These matters have to be resolved. We do not want these matters to languish. We want these issues to be resolved immediately so that they do not go over into the next increase that teachers are due in April 2024, Johnson said yesterday. Remote allowance is paid to approximately 2,400 teachers who work in deep rural areas and volatile communities. The graduate allowance is paid to educators who upgraded their qualifications to master's degrees and PhDs. The JTA president also told the news that some teachers are constantly complaining about a disparity in their salaries on a monthly basis, but no explanations are being provided for the discrepancy. We want to be in a position where teachers can comfortably and confidently calculate their salaries, calculate what is to be remitted to the bank on a monthly basis. We want to get that position. We are not there yet, Johnson said. Until we get to that place, there is still anxiety. Until we get to that point, teachers are still restive. Johnson said the JTA has been presented with a list of more than 30 teachers who have been experiencing certain challenges. Situations where persons' files were not correctly processed, where the ministry is indicating that documents were not submitted from the schools, and the schools are contending that these documents were submitted on time. These are the kinds of things that we face. The ministry is indicating that they are short-staffed in some of their regions, so therefore it presents a backlog in terms of how teachers' files are processed, he said. The JTA president said that at the end of every month, there are teachers raising additional issues, including instances where some who have been working 4 years were not paid in a given month. Some Salt Spring residents want SOE extended. McGee Top in Salt Spring, St. James felt lighter during a visit on Monday. Residents interviewed still asked not to be identified by name, but they were visibly happier than the days immediately after 2 little boys were gunned down as they traveled in a taxi on November 6. There was even a group of men enjoying a beer in the morning sun. Couldn't do this 2 weeks ago, had to be listening out and ready to lock my business place, one man said as he sipped his cold beverage. He and others credit the state of public emergency declared by the government on November 8 for the life-saving calm. But now they are worried about what will happen if it ends on Wednesday. The SOE can only be extended if the parliamentary opposition votes with the government. That is unlikely, as the People's National Party has consistently opposed the use of SOEs for the long term. The McGee Top resident enjoying his beer on Monday is among those who think 14 days is not enough time. Yeah man, it can go up till Christmas man, 2 weeks too short, he said. Don't have any problem with the security forces stationed in the community because we sleep good at night time, he added. For one shop owner in Repasture, where one of the slain little boys lived, the SOE has been bad for her business, but she also wants it extended. If it ends on Wednesday, she said, she may have to keep her granddaughter from attending school. If them lift up now, I won't be sending her back up to school then. Don't want to be at the wrong place at the wrong time, said the woman. She is terrified at the thought that her granddaughter could meet the same fate as a 7-year-old Justin Perry and a 9-year-old Nakalava Smith. The boys were on their way home when the bullet from a heavy-duty assault rifle ripped through the body of Tevin Hill and killed them. Suppose as we are going up there, we are the wrong person in a car that gets shoot up. We have to think about those things, said the worried grandmother. For her, the choice between economic survival and safety is an easy one to make. Under the SOE, business places like hers are shuttered earlier than usual, and she has been feeling the pinch. I've been suffering under the SOE with my shop. That's where I do my business. My job is this, to run my business. So when they lock me 8 p.m., I don't have any control. I have to work with the government, she stated. She pointed out, though, that without the security forces, marauding gunmen could also have forced her to close early. We just want a little more time for the SOE. We're uncomfortable, but I will live with it, she said. It shouldn't stop because what is happening can't cool down for 2 weeks. It can't cool down for 2 weeks. They haven't found any guns. No men haven't been found in here. Them said them find 2 men, one in Baritown and one in St. Elizabeth. But where are the others? She asked. She is hoping the SOE will remain in place long enough for them to feel safe during the holiday season. Give us until in the Christmas week. Give us some more, even 2 more weeks or 3 more weeks, and then we can see what's going on from there, the repassed resident appealed. A third resident who said the police presence makes the children feel safe also said he wants the SOE extended. We feel secure because the thing kinda calmed down and the people feel free to go to work and come in and feel safe, he explained. In responding to the residents' call for an extension, Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of Area 1, Clifford Chambers, chose his words carefully. Anything that results in no crime being committed or a major reduction in crime is something that I subscribe to, he told the journalist during an open day activity for divisions in the area that was being held at Jarrett Park on Monday. Not only that, any legislation that provides our law enforcement members with a legislative latitude to act legally and adds to crime being reduced and the perpetrators being arrested and being confined in a geographic space that adds a value to the team going in and doing their work, I will subscribe to it, he added. Lawyer services may become necessary for buying used vehicles, says Goff. Attorney at law Gavin Goff has noted that persons buying motor vehicles in Jamaica may soon need the services of a lawyer, as is the case with purchasing real estate. Under the new Road Traffic Act, which was passed in 2018 and took effect earlier this year, drivers with outstanding traffic tickets should no longer be able to transfer titles of vehicles, renew driver's license, or pay fitness and registration fees. Goff believes that lawyers may have to come into play to ensure vehicles being purchased do not have unpaid tickets attached to them and therefore cannot be licensed by their new owners, especially if the tickets are with the courts. He raised this concern while speaking at the Bethel Legal and Clinics, the New Road Traffic Act and You, Ready for the Road Forum, which was held at the Bethel Baptist Church in St. Andrew on Sunday. The attorney also raised the concerns about persons who are currently renewing their driver's license, even with unpaid tickets. It is understood that some of these drivers do not visit the tax offices in person, but send their documents with the bearers for automatic renewal, with no denial of service. Almost everything in the law has come into force, so we have a situation where the law has come into force and some aspects of it are not yet ready, Goff said. One of the aspects which have not yet been brought into force is what they call the denial of service. If you have unpaid traffic tickets, then you might not be able to renew your license. But there's also another part of it, that if you have unpaid traffic tickets, those tickets are essentially tagged to the vehicle, and the vehicle itself might not be able to be re-registered or relicensed when the time comes. And that creates a huge issue because when you're looking to now purchase a motor vehicle, you'll almost now have to go through a lawyer where you do the due diligence to ensure it doesn't have any unpaid tickets on it, or else you probably wouldn't even be able to get a vehicle that can then be licensed by you before the payments of those tickets, Goff explained. We haven't yet seen that come into force, and we're looking to see when it will. There is some more groundwork which needs to be done to take care of those concerns, he said. Goff added that there needs to be more clarity about the issue of parents becoming certified before attempting to teach their children to drive. There are a lot of questions as to whether or not you could now still take the child and teach them to drive, or if you now have to be certified in this driving school before you could then do what many of us have done to teach our children and grandchildren how to drive, Goff pointed out. So there is still some clarity that needs to be brought to those areas. There's a lot of uncertainty surrounding what we're hearing in public that we're not going to enforce it yet, but it's actually on the books right now and ready to be enforced, he said. On the other hand, Goff noted that while the new Road Traffic Act is long overdue, he remains concerned about the next time it will be reviewed. This law is supposed to be reviewed every 5 years. It was passed in 2018, so we're almost there now. It's time for it to be reviewed already, he said.